10 years ago, a bizarre cosmic game descended on Earth, forcing humanity into a brutal survival system, where clearing the beginner trial is the only way to unlock overpowered skills and class upgrades. But this sudden power quickly corrupted society, unleashing absolute chaos as rogue players slaughtered the weak, until 8 legendary powerhouses stepped up to establish order and build a new global hierarchy. Unfortunately, the elite class still treats regular citizens like dirt while hoarding all the wealth, leaving our orphan protagonist, Yuzhen, staring at his parents' portraits with a heavy heart. Determined to change their fate, he greets his adorable little sister with a bright, reassuring smile, as she happily runs into his arms, completely unaware of the dangerous path he must take. Because to give her a luxurious life, he has to conquer the deadly beginner secret realm. Stepping directly into the glowing blue portal to risk his life for their ultimate future, Yuzhen is greeted by a massive angel and demon demanding he choose his starting class, scanning the holographic options before instantly locking in the high-risk, high-reward assassin path. Cascading digital data cubes immediately swarm his body to rewrite his physical limits, stripping away his old self in a blinding flash of pure evolutionary energy, which wraps him in sleek, lightweight armor designed for maximum speed and stealth. Next comes a wicked curved dagger, the perfect tool for silent takedowns, cementing his new identity as a terrifying harbinger of doom lurking in the shadows. Standing amidst a graveyard of giant swords, our boy vows never to let his resolve waver, because no amount of pain or pressure will stop him from reaching the top. And with a massive burst of light, the teleportation circle sends him straight into battle. As the massive gates swing open, a majestic angel officially welcomes Yuzhen to the deadly game, where both holy and demonic guides hover before him to announce his arrival at the novice dungeon. Pushing himself up off the cold floor with a look of absolute determination in his eyes, he strides forward as the massive golden doors slowly creak open to reveal his path. Stepping into the dark void, he learns that the system offers 5 distinct starting classes, each requiring massive investments like heavy armor, deep pockets, endless training, or reliable teammates. But since our boy has absolutely nothing to his name, he chooses the lone wolf assassin path, wearing a smug smirk because he already knows a massive secret about this high-risk class. Turns out assassins are secretly the most overpowered class during the early stages of the game, especially with a broken stealth skill that charges up his attack power the longer he stays invisible. Armed with this broken skill, Yuzhen possesses the ultimate combination of survival and early-game burst damage, and with absolute confidence he steps through the portal to dominate the novice dungeon. Arriving shortly after in the City of Embers, a peaceful safe zone featuring a massive stone fountain. Strolling through the plaza, our boy plans to hunt some monsters and thoroughly research his new talent. But a sudden, obnoxious shout echoing across the street immediately ruins his peaceful walk. Peering around the corner, he spots a rowdy gang of low-level players harassing some helpless newcomers, led by a creepy red-haired meathead trying to drag a terrified girl away with him, while her protective brother desperately shields her, only to get violently shoved aside by the thugs. Watching the drama unfold from the shadows, Yuzhen notes that the siblings are in deep trouble. Realizing these pathetic bullies only play tyrant here because they are too cowardly for the real world. Peeking from behind a stone pillar, Yuzhen compares these low-life bullies to disgusting parasites. Meanwhile, the red-haired thug lifts the protective brother by his collar, threatening his very life. Deciding to intervene, our boy activates his stealth skill to test its power while saving the siblings. Slipping past the oblivious lackeys, he closes the distance with absolute ease and perfect timing. His plan is simple: strike the leader, trigger a chase, and lure the thugs away. Raising his curved dagger, he prepares to deliver a swift strike to ensure the siblings escape. But as his blade connects, a glowing system prompt reveals they are in a safe zone. Whirling around in a panic, the red-haired bully angrily demands to know who just attacked him. Stunned by the system message, our boy realizes his perfect sneak attack just completely backfired, leaving him exposed and surrounded by a gang of furious thugs wanting his head. Realizing he has a minor issue, Yuzhen barely dodges a massive hand grabbing for his collar, but he quickly vaults over a thug's head to break their line of sight for 5 seconds, which is all the time he needs to reactivate his stealth skill and completely vanish. While the rescued siblings make their escape and our boy slips away into the alleyways, leaving the furious red-haired bully and his goons screaming threats at the empty air. Safely hidden behind a wooden pillar, Yuzhen smiles as the clueless thugs sprint right past him, and with the coast clear, he opens up his convenient holographic inventory to retrieve his guide, pulling out a detailed notebook left by a veteran player to carefully study the layout. Realizing that safe zones completely block all player damage, making his previous sneak attack totally useless. But fortunately, the guide's leveling map is incredibly detailed, showing him exactly which monsters to hunt next. Closing his notebook with a confident smile, Yuzhen decides on his next destination, heading east toward the demonic sheep wilderness to start his ultimate grinding session, arriving shortly at a lush green valley filled with level 1 demonic sheep. Crouching behind a massive boulder, he notes that these fluffy beasts are completely passive, but with his base attack power sitting at a solid 120, he only needs to charge his stealth skill for 2 minutes to guarantee an instant kill. Creeping up on his first target, our boy calculates that he needs 20 kills to level up, unleashing a devastating strike that instantly deletes the mob but realizes this method is way too slow. Determined to speed things up, he leaps into the air to try a different approach, striking immediately after breaking stealth to maximize his damage output and clear the field. Yu-jun gets immediately counterattacked by the demonic sheep, taking a hit to his health, but he quickly retaliates with a brutal slash, slicing the beast right down the middle. Realizing that his low health pool makes this slow grinding method incredibly risky and inefficient. To speed things up, he needs to unlock his mysterious SSS-Rank talent, Open and Upright, which promises a guaranteed one-hit kill if he can just decode what Open and Upright means, since sneaking around in stealth or attacking from behind clearly does not fit the description. Deciding to test a new theory, he walks right up to a sheep and strikes it head-on. While the head-on strike lands a massive critical hit, the passive talent still refuses to trigger, leaving our boy holding a basic health potion while scratching his head over the vague rules, until a brilliant, slightly unhinged idea strikes him as he stares down his next fluffy victim. Staring down his fluffy target, Yu-jun delivers a deadpan declaration of war to the clueless beast. This demonic sheep just blinks back, completely unfazed while chewing on a piece of fresh grass. With a swift slash, he delivers a clean strike that deals a solid chunk of damage. But despite landing a perfect headshot, his mysterious SSS-Rank talent still refuses to activate, leaving him holding a basic health potion while trying to decode the system's incredibly vague rules. Downing the potion, our boy wonders if he needs to be completely transparent with his victim, so he strikes a ridiculous pose to introduce himself like some theatrical, over-the-top anime villain. Pointing his glowing blue dagger, he loudly announces his name and his intent to commit murder. Immediately cringing at his own dramatic monologue, he realizes just how incredibly embarrassing this strategy is. Meanwhile, the fluffy sheep just stares back, completely baffled by this human's sudden identity crisis. Slicing through the beast, Yu-jun watches the massive damage numbers pop up with a sigh, realizing his ridiculous theatrical introduction actually triggered the elusive SSS-Rank passive talent, which apparently requires him to loudly announce his name and assassination plans beforehand. But doing this one by one for every single sheep would destroy his grinding efficiency. Suddenly, a brilliant loophole strikes him as he eyes the entire grazing flock, making sure no other players are around to witness his upcoming public embarrassment. Taking a deep breath to prepare his lungs for the ultimate cringe, our boy screams his name and murderous intent across the entire valley, leaving the fluffy monsters chewing their grass in absolute, utter confusion as they stare back. With the trigger conditions met, Yu-jun charges forward to begin his ultimate slaughter. Slicing through the flock like butter, Yu-jun counts his victims as they drop one by one. This body count rises rapidly as his blades tear through the helpless demonic sheep, triggering a satisfying level-up notification that instantly pushes his stats even higher. Loot and experience rain down as he hits his target of 50 consecutive kills, reaching level 3 in record time while leaving a trail of fluffy destruction behind him. He realizes his broken talent can actually lock onto 50 targets simultaneously. But before he can celebrate, a sudden surge of golden energy erupts around him, making him wonder if this is the rare event his little sister warned him about. A massive golden magic circle materializes in the sky, summoning a horde of elite monsters, ready to test our boy's newly upgraded skills in a high-stakes battle. A massive level 5 elite black demonic sheep bursts from the portal, roaring with terrifying power. Instead of running, Yu-jun smiles, seeing this giant beast as the perfect test subject for his talent, loudly introducing himself to the monster while declaring his absolute intent to murder it on the spot. Meanwhile, a bald thug from earlier has secretly followed him, muttering about our boy's sheer audacity. Having watched Yu-jun effortlessly slice through monsters after boldly walking away from their gang's confrontation, grinning greedily, the bald stalker prepares to ambush him, hoping to steal whatever high-grade gear he is hiding. But his evil plan instantly derails when the massive elite monster materializes right behind his hiding spot, forcing the terrified thug to cower, hoping Yu-jun dies so he can easily loot his corpse. Unfazed by the giant beast, Yu-jun checks off every ridiculous requirement to activate his SSS-Rank talent, raising his curved dagger knowing a single scratch is all it takes to trigger an instant kill. This massive elite black sheep roars, radiating a terrifying aura of dark purple energy, before launching a devastating body slam skill that promises to absolutely obliterate anything in its path, forcing Yu-jun to realize that his fragile assassin class barely gains any health per level, meaning a single direct hit from this beast will instantly send him back to the lobby. Ducking beneath a massive swipe, our boy barely survives by the absolute skin of his teeth, realizing that fighting a giant boss with short-range daggers is a total recipe for disaster. Suddenly, a massive purple shockwave erupts from the ground, catching him completely off guard. As he scrambles to escape the boss's unexpected area of effect attack instead of looking for a counter, sprinting for his life to get clear of the deadly purple energy expanding behind him, only to look up and find the giant beast leaping directly above him for a crushing blow. This elite beast slams down with a massive stomp skill, unleashing a devastating purple shockwave, sending Yu-jun flying backward as the sheer force of the impact tears up the ground, leaving him clinging to life with a pathetic 30 health points after barely grazing the blast zone. Chugging a health potion, our boy notes that normal assassins would just hide behind a beefy tank, but his SSS-Rank talent demands he get strong enough to protect his sister from greedy guilds. Tossing the empty vials aside, Yu-jun readies his dagger with a newfound sense of urgency, staring down the reflection of his fluffy tormentor while plotting his path to absolute dominance. Suddenly, the giant black sheep roars, launching another terrifying attack directly at our nimble hero, who slides right under the massive fist while formulating a plan to master his ridiculous talent, starting by sharpening his reflexes until he can dodge these deadly blows without even thinking. Dodging the beast's massive fist, Yu Jun realizes he needs to boost his survivability to survive any attack. Before delivering a swift, decisive slash that cuts right through the giant elite monster's defenses, earning him a brand new title that boosts his maximum health and damage against all sheep-type beasts. Catching his breath, our boy finally sees the clear path to becoming the absolute strongest player, realizing that prioritizing his survivability is the key since his talent guarantees a one-hit kill anyway. And right on cue, he inspects a cursed necklace trading half his attack power for massive health, which instantly skyrockets his health pool to nearly 1,000 points, making him practically unkillable. But his celebration is brutally cut short as a sharp blade suddenly impales him from behind, revealing the bald stalker from earlier, who sneers while telling Yu Jun to remember this painful lesson, leaving our bleeding hero cursing his own carelessness for letting his guard down against a petty thug. This bald thug sneers, mockingly asking our bleeding hero if he has any final words. Coughing up blood, Yu Jun slowly opens his mouth to deliver a raspy response, loudly announcing his full name and his absolute promise to murder the smug stalker. This dramatic declaration only makes the thug laugh, thinking the kid has completely lost his mind. He twists the blade even deeper, mocking the kid for trying to fight with a skewered heart. Instead of panicking, our boy just smirks as he whispers the words instant kill, activating his broken SSS-Rank talent to deliver a tiny, seemingly harmless counter-scratch, which instantly erupts into a blinding blue light as the terrified thug begins to disintegrate. Our silent hero just watches coldly as the blue energy completely consumes his attacker, leaving the fading thug to realize that ambushing a broken player was his final mistake. Yu Jun sighs at his own carelessness while pulling out a quick healing potion, chugging the red liquid down to recover from that sneaky backstabber's surprise attack, realizing his newly equipped cursed necklace is the only thing that kept him from getting instantly deleted. Looking down, he spots a skill book dropped by the disintegrating thug, which unlocks a handy sword dance skill while confirming the dead stalker was just a low-level lackey, meaning the rest of his gang will get an automated notification about his sudden demise. Knowing a horde of angry thugs will soon swarm the area to avenge their fallen comrade, our boy decides to make the absolute most of his broken one-shot talent, aiming his blade toward the shadows where much stronger elite monsters are lurking. Ready to farm the high-level beasts and power up before the revenge squad even arrives, Yu Jun decides to bypass the city entirely, mapping out a much more efficient farming route. Meanwhile, the red-haired gang leader and his thugs arrive where their fallen comrade's signal vanished, clutching his neck in sheer frustration while wondering what his lackey was doing out here. A hooded archer sheepishly explains that the bald thug went rogue to hunt down Yu Jun, leaving the boss to process this incredibly embarrassing update with a tense, silent glare, absolutely losing his mind over the fact that his subordinate got clapped by a rookie assassin. He immediately orders his men to mobilize every allied guild and hunt the kid down, screaming a bloodthirsty promise of absolute vengeance that echoes across the entire valley. Far away from the drama, Yu Jun arrives at the desolate outer rim of the Ashen Ruins, where a pack of demonic black wolves with glowing red eyes stands ready to greet him. While normal parties need a dedicated healer just to survive these vicious beasts, Yu Jun prefers a much more hands-on approach from the safety of the shadows. Our nimble assassin quietly readies his blade to begin some serious solo grinding. He quickly spots a stray ash hound that has wandered away from the main pack, charging forward while loudly screaming his name and murderous intent to trigger his broken talent. This ridiculous monologue instantly registers the moment the giant wolf locks eyes with him. As the beast lunges, Yu Jun calmly reads its incredibly basic and predictable movement. He willingly lets the monster bite his arm since his boosted health can tank it, before delivering a simple counter-scratch that instantly triggers his SSS-Rank passive for a clean kill. With 20 experience points secured, he confidently decides to pull the entire pack next. Suddenly, Yu Jun senses a sharp surge of killing intent radiating right behind him, turning around only to find a massive demonic wolf breathing down his neck. Worse yet, a whole pack of these beasts blocks his path ahead, leaving him completely surrounded and realizing he was the sucker who took the bait. Instead of panicking, our boy just smirks at the pack of overgrown puppies, remembering the handy sword dance skill book he looted from that bald stalker. Unrolling the scroll, he instantly equips the skill to test it on these wolves, just as a massive beast lunges forward with its jaws wide open, prompting Yu Jun to scream his name and trigger his broken SSS-Rank talent, unleashing a devastating counterslash that instantly paints the grass red with a clean kill. As the demonic wolves lunge, Yu Jun lets one bite his arm to trigger his passive, sliding beneath the second beast's claws while keeping his focus entirely on the counterattack, his eyes flashing with a cold, calculated precision as he prepares the final blow, unleashing a devastating slash that triggers his broken talent for an instant kill. Suddenly, another massive wolf lunges from the shadows, catching him completely off guard, but the beast only manages to deal a pathetic scratch to his massive health pool. prompting Yu Jun to shove his dagger straight down the monster's throat with zero hesitation, only to find himself surrounded by the rest of the pack howling for blood. Fortunately, his broken talent automatically locks onto every single target in the vicinity, allowing him to unleash a glorious sword dance that wipes out the entire pack instantly. After wiping out the entire pack, Yu Jun hits level 4 while barely breaking a sweat, marveling at his new sword dance skill before spotting a shiny new loot drop nearby, which turns out to be a highly practical passive skill called Natural Recovery. Equipping the skill, our boy happily realizes he can now sell his useless health potions for cash, posing heroically on a cliffside as he prepares to hunt down his next target, only for a massive explosion nearby to completely shatter his peaceful grinding session. Out of the dust charges a massive level 10 boss hound, already heavily injured and furious, prompting Yu Jun to quickly dive behind a rock to assess the chaotic situation, activating his concealment skill while remembering that stealing another party's boss kill always triggers a bloodbath, so he decides to play it safe to avoid any unnecessary drama for his sister's sake. This massive red boss hound suddenly corners Yu Jun, completely shattering his plans for a peaceful grind. Slamming headfirst into a giant boulder, the monster sends debris flying while taking a chunk of his health. As he slides backward across the grass, Yu Jun realizes his handy concealment skill has officially worn off. Forced to fight, he activates his ridiculous talent by loudly announcing his name to the raging monster. Hoping the beast will just back down, our boy warns it that he really wants no trouble. But the furious level 10 boss ignores his warnings, launching another devastating swipe directly at him. This massive claw connects, tearing through his defenses and leaving him coughing up blood from the impact. Clinging to just 96 health points, he realizes he must end this fight with his next strike. With zero room for error, our nimble assassin leaps directly into the path of those gaping jaws, before delivering a flawless counterslash that triggers his broken talent to instantly delete the giant boss. This massive level 10 boss hound dissolves into a burst of red light, confirming the kill, earning Yu Jun a shiny new system notification and the legendary title of Hound Slayer, which boosts his stats across the board while making him a literal nightmare for dog-type monsters. Suddenly, a shocked warrior and his mage sister rush up to find their target already dead, prompting our boy to casually chug a potion while explaining he only fought back in self-defense. But instead of getting angry, the warrior looks at him like he is some legendary savior. Pseudo-Koda introduces himself and his sister, thanking Yu Jun for saving them from thugs earlier. Recognizing the siblings, our indifferent hero generously offers them all the loot before walking away, leaving the sister to realize this overpowered assassin is their ticket to defeating a massive serpent. Urging her brother to yell out and stop him before their potential carry slips away, Pseudo-Koda nervously asks Yu Jun to join their party and tackle the legendary Blackrock Serpent. Our boy is immediately skeptical, pointing out he has not even reached level 10 yet. This sister quickly explains that defeating 3 bosses before level 10 unlocks the rare Giant Rookie title. This prestigious title apparently boosts all stats by 10%, making it highly coveted. He nudges Yu Jun, asking if a powerhouse who soloed a boss would really skip this chance. Weighing his options, Yu Jun realizes gathering early boss intel is the perfect way to power up. Accepting the offer, Yu Jun seals the alliance with a firm handshake to hunt the serpent together. To show good faith, the siblings hand over a powerful demon hound dagger dropped by the boss. Arriving at the glowing red dungeon gate, our assassin secretly plans to solo farm this place later. Unfortunately, their path is blocked by a group of greedy thugs extorting players at the entrance. Walking into the dungeon, Yu Jun secretly celebrates saving a massive chunk of entry fees by partnering up. This trio ventures deeper into the damp, shadowy cavern as their footsteps echo against the cold stone. Our boy spots a tiny purple snake, wondering if this pathetic little worm is actually their target. Pseudo-Koda explains they can handle basic attacks, but they will need his help during its berserk phase. Suddenly, the cavern begins to violently shake as the siblings brace themselves for the real threat. A colossal purple serpent rises from the shadows, revealing its terrifying level 10 boss stats and massive fangs. As the beast slams Pseudo-Koda's shield, Yu Jun realizes he would have been instantly obliterated solo. He quickly maneuvers through the debris, incredibly glad he did not rely solely on his sister's basic guide, realizing that even at level 10, attempting to solo this monster would have ended in absolute disaster. This massive serpent unleashes a deafening roar, ready to turn our rookie party into its next meal. Pseudo-Koda raises his shield, warning the party to avoid the falling stalactites overhead. As the colossal purple serpent thrashes wildly and triggers massive area of effect damage across the cavern, prompting Yu Jun to swiftly weave through the falling debris with effortless grace, while the siblings desperately urge their overpowered ally to remain hidden in the shadows. Pseudo-Koda and his sister prepare a coordinated strike, explaining the boss's dangerous berserk threshold, planning to slowly chip away its health before unleashing their ultimate burst attacks together. Watching from safety, Yu Jun analyzes the serpent's terrifying stats and doubled damage output, realizing he cannot reveal the secret conditions of his broken instant-kill talent to strangers, which means he must secretly unequip his cursed necklace to restore his halved physical attack. Fortunately, the beast's sluggish attack speed makes it the perfect target for a swift execution. Meanwhile, the red-haired boss arrives at the serpent's lair to confirm his target's location. But his cowardly hooded archer immediately begs him to reconsider entering the dangerous dungeon, prompting the furious leader to draw his blade and threaten his subordinate's life, warning the entire squad that he will slaughter their families if they dare disobey. Terrified of their boss, the useless thugs instantly charge into the cavern screaming in panic, leaving the ruthless leader to scoff at his cowardly rabble as he follows them inside. Spotting the massive purple serpent, the boss orders his men to wait for the perfect moment, planning to use the monster's berserk state to wipe out Yu Jun and avenge his fallen comrade, though the trembling archer quickly points out that this suicidal plan will kill them all too, only for the boss to press a cold blade against his throat with a deadly ultimatum. This red-haired bandit boss spots the weakened serpent and orders his terrified squad to strike. Screaming for blood, the ruthless leader forces his men forward while the siblings brace for impact. Terrified of their boss, the thugs desperately unleash a barrage of arrows and fireballs. This sudden onslaught catches Pseudo-Koda completely off guard as spells fly over his head. Unfortunately, these chaotic attacks only succeed in pushing the massive serpent straight into its berserk state. Watching from the shadows, Yu Jun frowns as he tries to process this sudden, chaotic turn of events. Realizing the greedy thugs have ruined everything, the panicked sister urges her brother to flee immediately. Pseudo-Koda quickly tosses a glowing combat evasion stone to their overpowered ally instead, explaining that the monster's berserk delay gives them exactly 10 seconds to escape the cavern safely, before a brilliant flash of light teleports them out of the collapsing dungeon. Yu Jun inspects the combat evasion stone, realizing his new ally just gifted him a highly valuable tool. Meanwhile, the massive purple serpent begins to thrash wildly as its scales crackle with dark energy, sending giant boulders crashing down and completely sealing off any hope of an easy exit. This colossal beast fully unleashes its terrifying power, its glowing purple eyes locked onto the intruders, before a deafening roar echoes through the cavern, officially triggering the monster's deadly berserk state. Panicking at the sight, the cowardly thugs scream as the giant serpent turns its wrath on them, while Yu Jun watches safely from the shadows, glad his active stealth skill redirected the beast's aggression. Furious, the red-haired bandit boss orders his men to attack and expose our hidden hero's location, only to suddenly freeze in shock as a sharp pain pierces straight through his chest, leaving the ruthless leader staring at a stray arrow, completely betrayed by his own team's chaotic fire. Coughing up blood, the betrayed bandit boss stares in shock as his maniacal archer celebrates their mutual doom, before the colossal purple serpent looms directly behind the screaming traitor, ready to swallow him whole, unleashing a devastating meteor strike that completely obliterates the remaining thugs in a single chaotic blast. Watching the instant karma unfold, Yu Jun cannot help but smirk at their spectacular self-destruction. But his peaceful spectating ends when his stealth skill deactivates, leaving him alone with the furious beast, since he no longer has to hide his broken instant-kill talent from those pesky onlookers. Our boy confidently draws his weapon, ready to take down this giant snake one-on-one, loudly declaring his name to trigger his ridiculous talent and secure a peaceful future for his sister, while a system notification confirms his new allies have safely teleported away from the danger zone. Now the berserk serpent unleashes a lightning-fast tail whip, forcing our nimble assassin to dodge midair. This greedy thugs leave behind a bunch of floating potions as divine punishment for their stupidity, leaving Yu Jun alone with the boss as his overpowered instant-kill talent finally activates, prompting the colossal purple serpent to unleash a deafening roar that shakes the entire cavern. Our confident assassin just smirks, ready to put this oversized worm out of its misery. Suddenly, the beast triggers its frenzied hammering skill, sending shockwaves ripping through the stone floor, forcing Yu Jun to perform some high-flying acrobatics to dodge the exploding debris, before he closes the distance to deliver what should be a clean, decisive finishing blow, only for his dagger to spark uselessly against the monster's ridiculously thick armored scales. Realizing his ultimate strike just got completely deflected as cold sweat runs down his face. Now the furious serpent prepares a devastating meteor strike, locking him in its deadly sights. Yu Jun gets slammed hard into the cavern wall, coughing from the brutal impact. Realizing his broken instant-kill talent still requires dealing at least 1 point of actual damage, our boy remembers a pro tip about monsters having total immunity to certain attacks, which means this giant purple serpent must have a hidden gimmick protecting its scales. Suddenly, a massive tail sweeps through the darkness to catch him off guard, sending our nimble assassin flying through the air as debris explodes all around him. If this beast is truly invincible, he might have to use his escape stone, but the raging serpent immediately prepares another devastating meteor strike to finish him off. Leaping high into the air, Yu Jun desperately searches for any weakness to break the deadlock. Before spotting a tiny crack on its armored head that could be his ticket to victory, Yu Jun remembers that the entire serpent is pitch black except for one single white scale, which means that specific spot must be the key to breaking its absolute defense. Leaping off the rocky ledge, our boy prepares to test his theory in real time, aiming his blade directly at the glowing white scale to bypass its armored skin. Sensing the threat, the colossal purple serpent hisses violently as it prepares to strike, while Yu Jun readies his dagger to turn this boss into his ultimate stepping stone. Suddenly, the massive beast unleashes its devastating meteor strike, sending giant boulders crashing down. But our clever assassin just smiles, realizing this chaotic attack is his perfect opening, as the cavern collapses around them in a massive cloud of dust and debris. He dives headfirst through the falling rocks to deliver a fatal plunge from above. Yuzhan dives headfirst, screaming a battle cry as he targets the monster's only vulnerability, plunging his dagger directly into the glowing white scale with a satisfying metallic crunch, which triggers a massive explosion of light as the giant serpent shrieks in absolute agony. Our boy sticks a flawless superhero landing, completely unfazed by the collapsing cavern behind him. But he quickly tenses up when a strange purple specter rises from the beast's corpse, only for the spirit to thank him for its freedom before peacefully fading away into nothingness. Instantly, a flood of system notifications confirms his victory, boosting his level and granting rare rewards, prompting Yu Zhen to turn around as several glowing loot drops materialize on the cavern floor. Right in front of him floats a massive, master-tier chest plate forged from the serpent's scales, leaving our smug assassin grinning at the ridiculous double passive effects of his new overpowered armor. Inside the cavern, Yu Zhen checks his system screen to see what other loot dropped. Meanwhile, the siblings wait outside the lair, feeling incredibly guilty for dragging him into danger. Pseudo-Koda sighs in regret, wishing they had never crossed paths with those greedy thugs. Suyue anxiously wonders if their ally ran out of time to use the evasion stone. But her brother insists on waiting to slaughter any surviving bandits and avenge their fallen hero, lamenting the tragic fact that they never even got to learn the brave warrior's name. Suddenly, the barrier flashes blue, prompting the duo to draw their weapons for a final showdown, only for the portal to ripple as a familiar silhouette casually steps through the light, leaving our boy to casually wave and apologize for keeping them waiting so long. While the stunned siblings just stare in absolute disbelief, completely unable to process his survival, Yu Zhen casually explains that the berserk serpent took a bit longer to put down than expected, while confirming that those greedy bandit stragglers were instantly wiped out by the raging beast, leaving the relieved siblings to sigh in comfort before our boy brings up another topic, presenting a rare priest-class spellbook that dropped from the dead serpent's massive loot pile, offering to trade it for detailed guides on the remaining novice dungeon bosses, which leads to a friendly chat before they head their separate ways outside the portal, adding each other as friends while Yu Zhen keeps his broken instant-kill talent a secret. It turns out these siblings are actually elite guild heirs who happily shared their secret boss database, providing such a detailed breakdown of the next targets that it practically ruins the challenge. But our boy just wants to finish up quickly and return home to his sister. Yu Zhen heads toward Ashen City, eager to use his hard-earned loot to finally gear up properly. Stepping into the bustling trading area, our boy blends right into the crowd of busy players. First order of business is selling off all those monster parts to some unsuspecting local merchants. Next, he visits a quirky blacksmith to trade his raw materials for some actual combat utility. Gold coins change hands as he quickly liquidates his inventory for a fresh set of gear. Unfortunately, most of the high-tier serpent drops require him to be level 10 before equipping them. After browsing the market, Yu Zhen successfully pieces together a highly specialized low-level build. Since his broken instant-kill talent handles the damage, he prioritizes a weapon that maximizes his speed. Leaning against the wall, our clever assassin realizes he can exploit a ridiculous defensive synergy. By combining a cursed necklace with lizard armor, he gains a massive shield that guarantees his survival. Yu Zhen swaps his useless stealth skill for phantom form and dumps his points into swift step. Next, he stocks up on stacks of specialized potions to counter the next boss's annoying bind skills, confidently marching out of the city gates to conquer 2 major dungeons in a single run. Unfortunately, his grand plans of a quick speedrun immediately hit a massive, unexpected roadblock, because a massive crowd of players is already blocking the entrance to the Flame Rhino's lair, leaving our boy stuck in a ridiculous queue while his sister waits for him at home. Suddenly, a heavily armored player approaches him to ask if he is running the dungeon solo, eyeing Yu Zhen's high-tier gear and preparing to offer him a spot in their party, only to instantly backpedal in disgust the moment he realizes our hero is an assassin. Annoyed by the blatant class discrimination, Yu Zhen grabs his shoulder to demand an explanation. This armored warrior scoffs, explaining that no sane team would ever invite an assassin to this specific raid. Realizing the fiery boss inflicts constant damage over time, making it a nightmare matchup for his class. But Yu Zhen suddenly smiles, realizing this terrible reputation is actually the perfect cover for his talent. If he acts like an absolute cringy weirdo, nobody will suspect his ridiculous verbal activation conditions, allowing him to safely trigger his instant-kill skill while everyone naturally avoids his embarrassing antics. Deciding to play the part, our boy suddenly shoves the arrogant warrior straight onto the dirt, loudly declaring to the entire crowd that he can easily solo this boss without any help, leaving the humiliated player to grumble while the surrounding crowd backs away in secondhand embarrassment, while Yu Zhen strikes a ridiculously dramatic pose, letting a dark aura flare up around him. Now the terrified onlookers desperately avoid eye contact, completely convinced he is just a massive delusional weirdo. Yu Zhen loudly declares he will solo the boss alone, putting on a massive show, leaving the stunned onlookers completely speechless as they watch him march toward the entrance. Our boy charges straight into the dungeon, fully committing to his ridiculous lone wolf act. Meanwhile, the players outside gossip about how rare it is to see such a hot-blooded kid, lamenting that such a handsome face is about to get absolutely pulverized by the boss. Once safely out of sight, Yu Zhen sighs in relief at how exhausting cringe acting is, but his focus immediately shifts to the massive, fiery beast waiting for him in the cavern. a level 15 flame rhino radiating pure heat and ready to turn him to ash. Drawing his twin daggers, our clever assassin confidently shouts his fake name to the beast, instantly triggering his overpowered instant-kill talent to secure another ridiculously easy victory. Yu Jun leaps straight into the fiery aura of the colossal flame rhino, unleashing his broken instant-kill talent with a single, highly charged blue dagger strike, which instantly vaporizes the massive fiery beast before it can even react to him. Although he won, the passive heat alone nearly melted half his health bar, but a sweet physical attack buff and a level up make the risk entirely worth it. With the fiery rhino turned to ash, our boy wastes absolutely no time, immediately setting his sights on his next target, the mighty emerald water turtle, only to completely pulverize the armored beast before it can even think of hiding, leaving Yu Jun standing victoriously over another defeated dungeon boss as he counts his loot, planning to farm these quick boss respawns until he finally hits level 10. Suddenly, a glowing red notification pops up, informing Yu Jun that he has met a hidden condition, granting him a mysterious red envelope containing an exclusive invitation to the legendary Nether Trial. Turns out soloing all 3 beginner dungeon bosses was the secret key to unlocking this rare item, which is a bound item that transports players to a secret zone packed with insane rewards, leaving our smug assassin absolutely thrilled about the high-tier loot waiting for him inside. First, he decides to keep farming the beginner bosses to maximize his level before entering, diving straight back into the dungeons to ruthlessly bully the giant purple serpent once again. Back in the city, local players whisper in awe as our boy casually strolls through the streets, gossiping about the legendary, dramatic weirdo who somehow managed to solo the terrifying flame rhino all alone. After hitting level 10, the system officially recognizes him as a full-fledged ability user with massive potential. Reaching level 10 unlocks the monster appraisal skill, explaining why the siblings' database was so ridiculously detailed. Prompted by the system to leave the beginner zone, he immediately declines to finish his remaining business. Pulling out the escape stone from the siblings, he decides it is finally time to head back. Crushing the crystal, he selects Ashen City as his destination and vanishes in a flash of blue light. Materializing in the city plaza, our smug assassin prepares to make his final preparations for the Nether Trial. First, he liquidates his massive pile of monster loot, walking away with a heavy sack of gold coins. Next, he equips 3 pieces of masterwork gear, boosting his survival odds to absolutely ridiculous levels. He then dumps his skill points into phantom form and swaps his recovery skill for shadow sentence. With his ultimate setup finally complete, our boy pulls out the exclusive red invitation with a confident grin, and without wasting another second, he activates the Nether Trial to claim his next round of overpowered loot. Holding the glowing red invitation, Yu Jun watches as it shatters into sparkling magical dust, triggering a massive crimson vortex that swirls violently while white feathers rain down around him, revealing a stunning angel and a horned demoness floating gracefully inside the swirling portal, prompting our boy to think of his sister Nagisa, promising to return home very soon. And without a single shred of hesitation, he takes a decisive step into the glowing abyss. Instantly, a system screen welcomes him to the solo-only Nether Trial, spanning 22 dangerous floors, dropping him right into the center of a colossal empty stone arena to test his limits. Our clever assassin notes that the system's tone feels strangely different from his previous dungeon runs, but his thoughts are cut short when a dark purple projectile suddenly shoots from the portal, materializing into a level 10 demonic orc archer ready to turn him into a pincushion. Since he is completely alone in this arena, Yu Jun drops the cringe act to fight seriously, unsheathing his newly equipped masterwork dagger to instantly activate its powerful shadow blade buff, loudly declaring his fake name to the demonic archer to trigger his broken instant-kill talent. But the red beast reacts instantly, firing a massive arrow straight at our boy's head, which he effortlessly deflects midair by activating his newly upgraded level 2 sword dance skill, allowing him to instantly trigger his overpowered talent and completely vaporize the monster, leaving our smug assassin to marvel at how incredibly light and fast his body feels now, while the defeated demonic archer dissolves into a harmless cloud of red pixelated dust, proving that upgrading his combat skills was the right call to gain master-level muscle memory. With the first floor cleared, he confidently accepts the system prompt to ascend to the next challenge. Yu Jun suddenly realizes the entire stone arena is actually a massive elevator ascending to the next floor. As the platform grinds to a halt, he readies his daggers for whatever new challenger awaits him. And right on cue, a swirling purple portal materializes to spawn 2 demonic threats at once. Out steps a massive red-skinned warrior alongside a hooded shaman radiating a sinister green magical glow. Charging forward, our boy confidently shouts his fake name to trigger his broken instant-kill talent, but the sneaky shaman reacts instantly, trapping Yu Jun in a sudden burst of freezing ice, forcing him to quickly pull out a specialized flame potion to neutralize the annoying debuff, shattering the frozen prison just in time to dodge a devastating strike from the giant warrior. He casually tosses the empty vial aside, using his enhanced speed to safely create some distance, silently thanking his lucky stars that he bought those counter potions instead of rushing in empty-handed. Just as Yu Jun recovers, the annoying green shaman prepares to launch another freezing spell. Fortunately, our boy has a masterwork ring that lets him freeze his targets right back, unleashing a burst of icy energy that completely locks the magic caster in place. With the annoying support unit temporarily out of commission, Yu Jun flashes a confident smirk, turning his full attention to the massive horned warrior currently towering over him. This giant red beast slams its heavy weapon down, completely shattering the stone floor. But our agile assassin is already moving way too fast for the slow brute, effortlessly vaulting over the massive club while the terrified monster realizes it is outmatched, allowing Yu Zhen to deliver a clean, lethal throat slash with his masterwork dagger, leaving the giant to dissolve into purple dust as our hero prepares for the next floor. Yu Zhen barely dodges a sharp ice projectile, realizing he underestimated his opponent's recovery speed. This green shaman is already preparing another spell, reminding him that crowd control is a nightmare. He notes his freezing ring only buys him a single second, making it a risky trump card. Knowing he cannot let them cast again, our boy activates his speed buffs and charges. Suddenly cornered, the startled shaman tries to scream a counterspell, but his reaction time is too slow, allowing Yu Zhen to unleash his lethal strike, instantly slicing through the magic caster's defenses, sending the hooded spellcaster straight to the graveyard in a spectacular burst of purple pixels. A sweet lifesteal buff restores his health, though he knows the upcoming floors will only get harder. With the second floor officially cleared, he takes a moment to mentally prepare for the next challenge, before confidently accepting the system prompt to ascend straight to the third floor. Flipping upside down, our agile assassin effortlessly slices through the remaining monsters to clear the third floor, and on the fourth floor he dances around a barrage of glowing blue crystal spears, before panting heavily as the system announces he has officially cleared the fifth floor. Believing the promised lavish rewards were a total scam, he realizes they simply stack up every 5 floors. Naturally, our greedy hero chooses to continue, easily slicing his way through floors 6 and 7, swiftly tearing through the next waves of demonic beasts on floors 8 and 9. Clearing the 10th floor unlocks a massive pile of masterwork gear, alongside a warning about the upcoming boss. Yu Zhen remembers that enhancement stones sell for a fortune, meaning he is already swimming in cash. Having made over 10 million in just 2 hours, he knows getting stronger will make him even richer, prompting our smug assassin to flash a wicked grin as he prepares to test his absolute limits. Yu Zhen slams his hand down to accept the next challenge, eager to keep his streak alive. Instantly, thick purple smoke erupts from the arena floor, signaling the arrival of a massive threat. Our boy watches in awe as the dark energy swells to an absolutely ridiculous scale. Outsteps a towering red beast clutching a skull-topped weapon, radiating pure boss-level energy. This system identifies the monster as a level 20 demonic orc lord with 80,000 health. Scanning the boss's stats, Yu Zhen notes its annoying crowd control skills and minion summoning passive, yet he casually dismisses the giant beast as a budget version of his previous targets. Charging forward, our clever assassin screams his fake name to trigger his overpowered instant kill talent. He activates his speed buffs to end the fight before the monster can even react, only to look up and find a colossal spiked club already hurtling straight toward his face. This massive spiked club crashes down with terrifying force, sending our boy flying backward. Sliding to a halt, Yu Zhen is genuinely shocked by how fast this giant beast can move, giving him absolutely no time to recover as the roaring monster raises its weapon again. Suddenly, a glowing purple magic circle erupts beneath his feet, completely locking him in place, leaving our usually smug assassin sweating bullets as he realizes he cannot dodge the incoming strike. Thinking fast, he immediately activates his newly upgraded level 2 phantom form to turn spectral, but the devastating impact still hits him like a runaway freight train, forcing a painful scream from his throat as his health bar takes a massive hit. He catches his breath, silently thanking his past self for investing in that defensive skill upgrade, because getting close to this giant red boss is proving to be a massive pain. Realizing he needs an edge, Yu Zhen downs a potion to activate his next secret weapon, while the massive demonic orc lord roars and prepares to crush him into paste. Our boy calmly triggers his Shadow Blade and Swift Step skills to boost his agility, effortlessly sliding under the giant spiked club as it shatters the stone floor. He weaves through the boss's guard with blinding speed, leaving the beast swinging at empty air, before summoning a massive skeletal ribcage that erupts from the ground to trap his target, a specialized crowd control skill he originally bought to counter high-level boss berserk states, leaving the giant red beast completely frozen in shock as the bone cage locks it down. With the towering monster completely immobilized, Yu Zhen positions himself for a devastating counterattack, ready to show this oversized boss exactly why his utility skills are worth every single penny. Activating his newly acquired Shadow Sentence skill, Yu Zhen targets the beast's helpless shadow. Raising his masterwork dagger, our boy realizes spending a massive fortune on this swap was totally worth it. While the giant demonic orc lord roars in fury, completely unaware of the trap beneath its feet, our clever assassin smirks, knowing this single strike is about to make his massive investment pay off, demanding the massive boss hurry up and dissolve into a pile of sweet experience points. Plunging his blade directly into the monster's shadow, he triggers his broken instant kill talent, sending the giant beast screaming in agony as the lethal strike completely vaporizes its health bar, which instantly rewards him with a mountain of masterwork gear and a broken stat-boosting title. Without wasting a single second to celebrate, Yu Zhen confidently votes to continue the challenge, only to realize the next floor is dead silent, leaving him wondering where the monsters are. A sudden arrow whistles past Yu Zhen's face, catching our agile assassin completely off guard. He tilts his head back with perfect reflexes, narrowly avoiding a nasty facial piercing. Realizing the next challenger has already spawned and is eager to take him down. Charging ahead, our boy screams his fake name to trigger his broken instant-kill talent, only to face a level 10 demonized elf archer boasting a massive health pool. Knowing speed is key, Yuzhan immediately activates his sprint and endurance buffs, while the agile elf unleashes a rapid-fire barrage of arrows straight at him. Instead of dodging, our clever hero activates his intangibility skill to phase through danger, effortlessly gliding through the deadly projectiles like they are nothing but harmless toys, leaving him in perfect position to deliver a lethal strike to the defenseless archer. With a single swift slash, Yuzhan triggers his instant-kill talent and vaporizes the archer, watching the defeated elf dissolve into a spectacular burst of purple pixelated flames. But his celebration is cut short when a massive stone archway materializes before him, prompting our greedy hero to accept the next challenge without a single second of hesitation. Suddenly, a shield-bearing demonized warrior charges out of the portal with a bloodthirsty scream, forcing our agile assassin to quickly leap backward to avoid a devastating shield bash, only to realize too late that this frontal assault was nothing but a clever distraction. As a stealthy assassin monster drives a sharp blade directly through his chest from behind, leaving him coughing up blood as he realizes he is dealing with an invisible threat. Fortunately, he quickly activates his intangibility skill to phase right through the monster's next strike. Striking a pose, Yuzhan activates his special skill to trigger his broken instant-kill talent, but the sneaky assassin monster immediately slips into stealth while the shield warrior charges ahead. Fortunately, our boy anticipated invisible pests and pulls out a highly flammable concoction of fire oil, easily sliding backward to dodge a heavy blow while keeping his eyes locked on the target. He activates his Shadow Blade sprint, closing the distance to clash directly with the armored brute, using the monster's own shield as a stepping stone to vault gracefully into the air. Mid-flip, Yuzhan delivers a brutal throat slash that instantly sends the shield warrior packing, before casually tossing his specialized chemical cocktail right onto the stone floor below him. This resulting explosion ignites the entire arena, forcing the screaming stealth assassin out of hiding. Still, he notes that indirect potion damage sadly will not trigger his overpowered instant-kill talent. Our boy strikes a cool pose as the system confirms another clean one-hit kill, while a swirling purple vortex sweeps away the ashes of his defeated foes. Standing before the next massive portal, he receives a prompt asking if he wants to continue, prompting our greedy hero to flash a confident smirk, eager to see how many rewards await. Suddenly, the system warns him that the 22nd floor holds a powerful level 20 elf commander, but Yuzhan casually ignores the danger and immediately votes to keep the challenge going. As the massive golden doors slowly creak open, a blinding light completely floods the arena, forcing our agile assassin to shield his eyes from the absolutely ridiculous, dazzling glare. Once the light fades, he finds himself standing inside a grand, ancient marble temple, where a powerful entity on a golden throne welcomes him as only the second human challenger. Yuzhan is completely stunned to find this high-level boss actually speaking directly to him, and the smug elf commander mockingly predicts our boy will run away crying like a baby. But our stubborn assassin instantly fires back, declaring he has absolutely no intention of losing. Amused by the bravado, the weary-looking boss sighs and admits he can barely hold his form, before a massive surge of dark purple energy suddenly erupts from his golden throne. With his red eyes glowing, the commander dares Yuzhan to bring his absolute best shot, revealing a terrifying stat screen with 400,000 health as he welcomes the challenge, leaving Yuzhan sweating bullets as he draws his blade against this ridiculously overpowered opponent.